Hello, David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. I get questions from time to time like, David, what really was the turning point, the tipping point, the momentum, the trajectory? Would you get a thesaurus this morning, David? What was the push to really get your channel out into the public? And it's always a very easy answer. It's this coat right here amongst my SkyFall collection is the Billy Reid SkyFall peacoat, or Bond peacoat, as affectionately known. And there's a long history that I've covered on this channel, but this video today is something very different and I think very special for those that follow the Bond sartorial journey that a lot of us are on. This whole invisible Bond moment, we can celebrate the movies and the franchise out in the open by wearing the clothing. We've got to start even before this coat right here, because I'm already baked in it. Yeah, this white top, I wanted to do something very plain. So when we talk about the different peacoats, you see only the peacoat, but this is a Sunspell long sleeve polo. It is Sea Island cotton, super comfortable, super combed. It is from Sunspell's Ian Fleming collection. Bet you didn't even know that they had an Ian Fleming collection. They do. And of course, I'm pairing it with, that's my go-to nowadays, my Quantum of Solace Omega PO, because I think it's, again, a very plain, but also very impactful watch. It's that nice little play and pull between Bond and the impact moments we try to create. But I'd also think it shows off other things that I want to attribute, like this coat. Now, this coat, the reason it put me on the map is back in 2012, around the premiere of SkyFall, I got to wear one of the first ones out in the wild, and it was from the same bolt that was used for the movie. There were a lot of different attributes, but I was able to walk around London. I know, take a look at this. I mean, I was able to look at the young baby David. Baby David, he was like 11 years younger. Oh, those were the days. So I was able to kind of do this interview that I captured on video. You could still find it on YouTube. You'll see it was a little bit of a shaky cam back then, but what happened was it wound up launching a lot of interest in the Bond sartorial community, if you will, but also it pulled and pushed people to the Billy Reid brand, and they sold so many that today, as I sit here and talk to you in the winter, and yes, it's still winter outside, they can't keep it in stock. They have multiple runs during the year. They're on so many different iterations. And today we're going to be talking about what birthed all these different iterations. And a lot of it is you. It's your passion to this coat, because this coat, well, let's face it. I mean, come on, look at this. Bond looks badass in it. Sometimes we will poke and barb Bond for wearing certain things that we just don't gravitate to. But this says military Bond. Badass Bond. It fits him perfectly. It's a style, not a fashion. It's a classic look. It's a midnight blue, which is so Bond. And by the way, this is my original coat right over here. Take a look at it. We'll get some B-roll for you. I mean, it hasn't really pilled or anything like that. It's over 11 to 12 years old. I've worn it every single winter and it still looks fantastic. But like I said, there's been different iterations. And we're going to go through some of them today. You ready for the journey? You ready? You ready to jump in here? Here we go. So the first one I want to talk about is in its current form. Now take a look at this blue. It's a only slightly brighter blue than the original one. The original one was very dark. In fact, most people, even today, they say, well, the black peacoat from Sky. No, it's so dark, so midnight blue, so dark navy that it looks black. But this is a blue one. They've made it a little bit brighter blue. And in this case, it's 75% wool, 25% polyamide. Now, polyamide doesn't come from the planet Krypton. No, it's a real fabric. What it does is it resists pilling. It also locks in the heat a little bit better because remember, this is unlined, and it resists and keeps you a little bit drier than the traditional wool, which is a bit more porous. We could argue all day long which is better. I like the 100% wool. I just do. I think if you can use all natural fibers and products, and wool is great. I think it wicks away moisture great. I think it protects you from the cold. The fact that it's unlined has never bothered me, but this is the new one. It's in a size small, which is what I take. And you can see it says Italian textile. The tag itself hasn't really changed. What has changed, quite dramatically in some cases, is there is a wonderful, very Billy Reid mark of these peacoats, not just the cut, but on the back of these, you always have this wonderful, genuine cowhide leather, all right? It just sort of accents it when you pop the collar up. This has gone through many changes. Mine was a kind of a crackled weather brown. This nowadays is black, and you can see it's got the stripes. The diagonal stripes is a Billy Reid icon, if you will. It's part of the brand. So what they tried to do is not just do it in black, but try to create a branded moment. I get it. I'm all about the brand. You can't fault them for it. But let's try this baby on. So again, this is the newest one. If you were to buy one today, this is what you would encounter. All right. Let's hope I don't bang my mic up a little bit. Now, I would normally button the interior button because it really helps the lines of the jacket. But for the sake of time, you can see I already have this sort of trained. Look at the collar on this. I mean, you can see the way the collar pops and falls. This is a nice little peak that's coming here. You can see the wool, very stylized, but look at the arms. Those are not thick arms. This isn't a billowy thing that you would get at an outlet. And I know, listen, there are so many great Frugal Bond versions of this. They're all great. I'm not faulting them, but there's something about the cut of the Billy Reid peacoat that looks great. Look at that high armhole and the thinness of the sleeve, but you could still move everything incredibly well, which I really like. You've got the hand warmer pockets up here. They actually come in handy. Trust me. I have 5 digits on each of these claws because of these hand warmer pockets. So they do keep you warm. Plus you've got these flat pockets right here with the buttons. I think you know the schematics of this, but what you're going to be noticing is that the small in this, I tend to wear things that aren't too bulky underneath because I get hot in this thing. I mean, it really does repel the heat, but look at the cut of this. Don't slouch, David. What did Mama teach you? Stand up nice and proud like you care about yourself. Pretend. So look at this. Look at this. Look at the way this is cut. This makes you feel military. This makes you feel like you've got armor on. Why am I doing like a Michael Myers thing? It doesn't matter, but it does. It just makes you feel like you have armor, that you stand straighter and prouder. It's almost like the Tom Ford suits that are built in such a way and created in such a way to make your chest puff out. This is the wonderful Bond side effect of these peacoats. They make you, I don't care who you are, they make you look like Bond is what they do. And this, the way things are cut in the back, for example, you can see it right here. You know the look of this, you've seen the video, but this to me just, every time you wear this out, it's screaming Bond. And the newest iteration still does that. But we got more to go. Now check this out. So this is what you would get. But not too long ago, a few years ago, and Billy Reid, the brand, has been great about this. They've sent me the different iterations to obviously chat about it, but to experience it. They're not the type of brand to go, now David, this is what old brands sounded like. This is the voice of the brands. Now David, I want you to do this, this, and this, and then talk about this, and then put this picture up. No, 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 no. That's not how this works. It's more like hope for the best. Here's the box, all right? But check this out. So now, you're not seeing things, folks. Do not adjust your YouTube. So this is one from a few years ago. They came out, same exact cut, but in black. Now you could still get the black one nowadays, and you can see the true black. I mean, this is black. This is not midnight or navy blue. This is black, like the night. But they actually put a fur collar that is removable. Look at this. So you see the little buttons and everything like that. And by the way, I've worn this before. I wore it for the No Time to Die press junket around the DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah, the 4K. In London and in the outskirts of England, driving cars, stunts, posing with DB5s, the whole 9 yards. Unbelievably comfortable. And this was one of the coldest few days in the UK. And it repelled the cold. I'm telling you, I don't think I need to tell anything more about the usage of this, but this had this fur collar and it changes the whole look. Don't believe me? Don believe me? Well, proof of the pudding is under the crust, as they say, folks. Yeah, I'll have more old-timey sayings like that because of my age. So I'm not going to pop the collar on this. I'm going to keep the collar down. But take a look at this collar. It's luxury. I mean, it's beautiful. And by the way, just deal with this. All right? Super soft. Super soft. And again, it goes with that whole idea of this is wool, right? Little bit of other mixture, but it's still a natural fiber. This is fur, which is a natural fiber as well. And one of the great things is the fit. The fit is still fantastic, but we're suddenly transformed. It's a little bit more, wait for it, it's a little bit more styled because it's got this fur collar. It's a little bit more tundra, Nordic, all the things that conjure up with fur and wool in a peacoat. And believe me when I tell you, folks, I've worn this with the fur out in the wild, and it keeps you warm because there's something about natural fur where when you breathe, as strange as it sounds, this is true, you can look it up. You can look it up. As strange as it sounds, when you breathe, it actually keeps the heat around the fur, so it warms everything up. It warms the fur up, it warms you up, and I like the way it looks. I've worn this whole thing in New York City, and I look like I belong. It's a very cosmopolitan look, but it also has that form, function, and it still has that connection with Bond. But get ready for the Bond bomb. I actually said that right. Thought for sure I'd have to edit that. No, not so much. All right. Years ago, something came out around these Bond peacoats that blew me away, blew many of you away, and it still blows me away when I wear it. And it's actually the #1 peacoat version of this whole Billy Reid journey that I wear. And that is the Billy Reid Midnight Blue Navy Peacoat. Hold on a second. We're going to get really close for this one. In cashmere. Cashmere, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And I mean, this cashmere is ridiculously soft. It also makes the lines of the coat softer. And what I mean by that is you don't have that rigidity. Rigidity, humidity, spaghetti, Prince Spaghetti Day. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's pop the collar. Now watch this. So this I am going to take a little bit of time on because I want you to see what this is all about. So I've trained the collar well to kind of give a little bit of a fold here. Pops up in the back. Look at the brown. Look at the brown accent. Still has all of those accents. The hand warmer pockets, but now you've got cashmere. This is by nature, by very nature, a softer look. It's not as, like I said, rigid. It doesn't keep you like this. And by the way, movement, this is my car driving coat. This is I'm going to take a walk with Danielle. We've got these little villages in Pennsylvania, and we're going to be carrying things like bags or eating or whatever it is we're doing. The movement on this is ridiculous. If I was an action-oriented Bond, I don't know if I'd go to this. I'd go to this. It was such an explosive moment that, you know what? Hold on a sec. Cue the montage. All right, so what Billy Reid did was, it was fantastic. They got a professional photographer, and they asked me for their online Billy Reid journal. You could still find the article on the interwebs. They asked me to be a representative, if you were a friend of the brand, as they call them, to do this photo shoot in this color and, of course, that other beige colored coat that you saw, which is my second most worn Billy Reid peacoat. Take a look at the color. And again, this is cashmere. So look at the fibers that you're seeing on there. Look at the lines. Look at the color. Now it's not a gray. It's almost like it's like a beigeish gray, grayish beige, whichever one you want to put as a priority. But this just changes everything because not only does it have the soft cashmere line, this has a totally different color. I mean, this just, see what I mean? So imagine wearing this with jeans. Imagine wearing this with blue pants. I wouldn't wear this with these kind of beige colored chinos right now, but it still has all of the lines. Look at the thin arms, the high armholes, everything. It's got the leather in the back that you love. It's got the popped collar, but this just does something to transform you. In some ways, it's more sophisticated. In other ways, though, I know it sounds crazy. In other ways, this is a coat that is a little bit more relaxed. So this, again, I'd wear this with dark colored chinos, or I might wear this with jeans and other accoutrements because it's somewhat more casual. Now, about now in the video, you might say, dang nabbit, David. Watch the language, it's a family show. It's amazing, this journey, this Billy Reid journey of these coats. Now I get it, they're iconic and we've all gravitated to them, but there's been so many. You would think that Billy Reid would say, we're done. We're just gonna keep pumping out these. But no, this year they came out with yet another one that they sent me, and it's so brand spanking new that it still has the tag on it. And of course, it's the black waxed peacoat. So imagine if you will, you took the barber peacoat from SkyFall, and you introduced it to the Billy Reid peacoat. If you took the barber coat and the Billy Reid peacoat, and you introduced them, there was speed dating, and they had a baby. The baby would be this. So it's black. A little part of me wishes they had done it in blue, but all right, black. It's got the signature Billy Reid lines and coloring on the inside. So this is lined, and for good reason. This is to be a fall or autumn, winter, and just going into spring coat. So in order to do 3 seasons, they did line it because it doesn't have the wool. It is waxed. Now, let's get up close and personal. Look at the waxing on this. This is, again, the type of waxing you want to repel water, wind, snow, ice, rain, bullets. I went too far. Not bullets, but look at the back. It still has the original thing that we showed you in the beginning with the newest peacoat you get now. That is the same black cow leather. And this, they did send me a size medium. Now I'm going to tell you right off the bat, before you even see this on me, as I put it on, that I would have preferred a small. If I had my druthers, I would have a small just because I take a small in these. It's just what I do. And again, we always do this, but we have to, because what does small even mean? I'm a 42 up here now and a 31-inch waist, so the smalls still fit me fine. So these are generously cut. Now we're going to come on back and we are going to button this puppy, and you'll see it fits me fine. It's a little big. It's a little big. I like it to be, kind of bond tight. Look how new this is. It still has the paper. Well done, David. Well crunched. So this still has the flap pockets, which are great. They're beautifully lined. It has the hand warmers right here. So it has all of the tropes, if you will, of the Bond peacoat. But let's take a look at this now. So I'm popping the collar. Haven't trained this because this is only the second time I've ever worn it, and I've never worn it out in the world yet. I will. But you can see it still has that wonderful straight up and down cut. Still exactly what you want out of the peacoat. But this is for those that say, you know something, I might want a blend of what Bond wears in Scotland and what Bond wears when he's fighting Patrice. And this is a really nice homage to it. It really is, if you think about it. And with we just came from the 10-year anniversary of SkyFall, I think this is a nice push. They had to have done, and they didn't tell me this, but they had to have done that on purpose. They had to have put all of these pieces together, and I like the fact that they did that. So this is a beautiful homage. It's a nice iteration, and listen. If we're talking about reinventing and keeping new and transforming, a winner in their staple of clothing, yes, of course, it makes perfect sense. Well, there you have it. I mean, from pretty humble beginnings of Daniel Craig wearing a coat, requesting that coat, to me falling in love with that coat, to helping launch the channel, the different iterations starting with this one right here, that all the way through to the many, and who knows what 2023 will bring, maybe even a new version that we can talk about it. Well, we'll bring it to you. You know we will. Thanks for following me on this journey. What's your own journey with this peacoat? I always read these comments. Go into the comments right now. Tell me, do you have the Billy Reid peacoat? Do you have a peacoat that you love? Why did it pull you into the world of James Bond sartorial moments? Let's discuss. In the meantime, this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you all real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.